If you guys have come to know me at all over the time you've been watching me on this channel, one of my most favorite things in the world when it comes to pro wrestling is tournaments. I love a good old-fashioned tournament. Why? Because A, I get to see talent that I've never seen before. B, I love competition based solely on what happens in the ring. One opponent against the other opponent, who is the best. And C, the later this tournament goes, into the later rounds we get, it just shows you who belongs and who doesn't. I was a huge fan of the Mae Young Classic last year. I thought it was great. Things obviously I would have changed from 2017 going on into 2018. I was hoping WWE fixed those things that I found to be an issue with last year's show. I think the biggest issue with last year's show was the commentary. I didn't really like or enjoy Jim Ross behind the desk. I feel like he wasn't motivated enough to be there. I feel like he didn't really do a good job. And this is nothing on Jim Ross, because I love Jim Ross. But I really feel he didn't do a good job at really getting me excited for the competitors that we were going to see in last year's Mae Young Classic. Lita, I didn't think she was a good voice at all to sit next to Jim Ross. It was a really dead aspect to the Mae Young Classic, where commentary is vital for a fan watching at home to enjoy the show more. This is why we all wanted Mauro Ranallo to do it. Mauro's voice goes perfect with what WWE is trying to present. Mauro goes perfect with the knowledge that we need based on all these competitors, because a lot of these women we've never seen before. And Mauro gives you a great detailed backstory and history as to where these women came from and why I should care. That's what I wanted. We didn't get that again this year. We got fucking Michael Cole doing the play-by-play commentary. Michael Cole, when he is not handcuffed and when he doesn't have Vince McMahon in his fucking ears, is not that bad to listen to. Actually, he's quite enjoyable to listen to. This was not like the UK tournament back in 2016. When he did that with Nigel McGuinness, I felt a certain excitement to Michael Cole. I felt like with Michael Cole there yesterday, it was just an extension of what we see on Monday Night Raw. I heard more than one occasion him mention Charlotte. Why am I here to listen to you talk about Charlotte and comparing Rhea Ripley to Charlotte? I don't want to hear this shit. I don't want to hear you talk about anything on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live. I don't want to see Ember Moon in the crowd. I don't give a fuck if Alexa Bliss is there and what her role is in the women's evolution or revolution. I don't give a shit about that. Too much main roster talk from the Mae Young Classic. One of those things I just, sat there and shook my head at. Michael Cole had this thing going on. And if you guys watched Off the Script this past weekend when I was at All In with my buddy Jesse, we did a live Off the Script at Podcast Row. And he mentioned this to me, and I really took a liking to what he said. I understand you making a pick, and you picking your odds-on favorite, who you think is going to win the Mae Young Classic. For me, it was Toni Storm. For months, even leading up to the Mae Young Classic in 2018, Toni Storm was my pick. Just based on what she did last year. Toni Storm this year, and being that she is now physically signed with the WWE, and in Toni Storm, I see someone who could lead a division. To me, Toni Storm is a face of a division. Everything she has is perfect. Everything from look to in-ring skill to emotion, storytelling, appearance, charisma. She's the full package. That's why I'm going with Toni Storm this year. But Michael Cole, on more than one occasion, he comes out and says, Tegan Knox. Tegan Knox is my pick to win the entire tournament. We haven't seen Tegan Knox in a WWE ring. It's okay to make a fucking prediction, but WWE, when they have a narrative that they want to shove down your throat, that they're going to have Michael Cole just beat it over your fucking head. Tegan Knox was supposed to be in last year's Mae Young Classic, and she sat out with an ACL injury. They're making that a big deal this year. And being that she was supposed to be there last year, wasn't, now she's there this year, they're pushing her as an odds-on favorite, and Michael Cole is really pushing that to the audience. You need to care about Tegan Knox, because this is why we want you to care about Tegan Knox. And they're getting that point across through Michael Cole. He did the same thing with Lacey Lane. Lacey Lane comes out, this is my dark horse pick to win the Mae Young Classic. Now, when he says something like that, Tegan Knox is his odds-on favorite. Lacey Lane, if Tegan Knox gets knocked out, that's his dark horse pick. Someone who isn't expected to win, but if she wins, then it's going to be a Cinderella story. Someone who's not picked to win this tournament. That's what that means. So you're picking Tegan Knox and then Lacey Lane. And this is the narrative that they're trying to tell you. Pick one fucking person, give me an explanation as to why, and move on. How many other women are in this tournament that you haven't seen yet, that you haven't seen perform, that you haven't seen tell a story in the ring? How many other women are in this tournament? And in the first episode, he picks 2 women to win the fucking tournament. We've only seen 8 fucking performers. Well, are you out of your fucking... There's 24 fucking women left to see. Half of which competed last year. You know, it's shit like that just fucking irks the shit out of me on comment. Pick one, give me a fucking reason, and end it. And call the action. Make me care about the women. Don't try to sell me on something when there's 24 other fucking women that we gotta watch. I gave you a reason for Toni Storm. Toni Storm's my pick. Why? Because she made the semifinals last year. She lost to Kairi Sane. If she did it last year, she's been there. She knows what it takes. She's trained. She's anticipated. She's waited for this moment. She made it that far last year when nobody knew her in a WWE realm. This year, we know what she's about. She made the semifinals. Last year, there's no reason why, with what she's capable of, why she shouldn't make the finals. There you go. There you go. And that's exactly, if I was calling this Mae Young Classic, that's exactly what I would tell you. That's it. That's it. But WWE wants to spin the narrative. Tegan Knox was hurt. This is why you have to care about her. Oh, Lacey Lane, trained by Devon and Bubba Ray Dudley. This is why you have to care. Another thing about the Mae Young Classic last night. You know, last year it was about Booker T's school. Ember Moon was trained by Booker T. Some of the talent in the Mae Young Classic last year was from Booker T's school down in Texas. I don't know exactly where in Texas it is. This year it's all about the Dudley Boys Academy in Florida. We've seen one person, Trish Adora, on NXT TV, that went against Kairi Sane. She was trained by the Dudleys. She lost to Kairi Sane. Her first match in a WWE ring is against Kairi fucking Sane. So then we have MJ Jenkins, who was trained by the Dudleys. And then we got Lacey Lane, trained by the Dudleys. And they're really pushing the Dudley Boys Academy this year. How many other women are in this tournament that were trained by the Dudleys? I don't know. This is the first time I'm seeing any of these women outside of Rhea Ripley and Killer Kelly. I don't know. Maybe they got something going on with the Dudley Boys Academy. Last year was Booker T getting his school out there. This year's the Dudleys. They're training, and Lacey Lane even signed a contract with the WWE Performance Center down at Full Sail University. You know? So maybe it's one of those things, and it's a working agreement. You know, let's get the Dudley Boys Academy out there. You know, that's where you could also go to train to be a professional wrestler before you come on into the WWE and our PC. Some type of working agreement there. I found that to be quite odd. 3 women in the span of 2 hours last night with NXT and the Mae Young Classic trained by the Dudleys. Plus, I'm sure more to come. So, the presentation was great. As always, Full Sail was, it's exactly the same as last year. Nothing's changed. As far as Michael Cole, he wasn't that bad, but, I mean, he was very Raw-esque last night. He sounds a little bit more excited than Jim Ross. That's all I could ask for at this point. It's still fucking Michael Cole. Beth Phoenix and we had Renee Young. They didn't do half bad. Beth Phoenix, much better than Lita. She adds a nice little change to Michael Cole's overly annoying voice. Renee Young, obviously, I mean, we all like Renee Young. She didn't really add. I actually think Beth Phoenix added a lot more than Renee Young did. But we'll see how this commentary team develops over time. But all I can say is from last year, it's better because it's more lively. And Jim Ross just sounded dead he sounded like a fucking corpse. Sounded dead to the world last year. So I like the aspect of Michael Cole at least trying to build some story with these women and give you a reason and a backstory to them. But Beth Phoenix and Renee Young, they did very well for themselves in the commentary booth sitting alongside Michael Cole. The first match started off, it was Zatara versus Tegan Knox. Now, Zatara reminded me very much of Sexy Star from Lucha Underground, but a much better wrestler. Much better wrestler. She had a Mexican mask on. She is from Santiago, Chile, and she wrestled in Mexico. She actually, I don't know, Zatara. I didn't hear Michael Cole. It's in my notes here. I didn't hear Michael Cole mention Lucha Underground. Did she wrestle in Lucha? She wrestled in Mexico. I know Michael Cole mentioned that she wrestled in Arena, Mexico. She wrestled in some big shows in Mexico. But in here it says that she is a veteran of Lucha Underground. And I got some of these notes from WrestlingInc.com. I didn't really know that. So I guess I learned something new today. She was a part of Lucha Underground. Zatara. She was very good. She wrestled a very, very good match with Tegan Knox. Zatara's been over 180 matches. She's a veteran. She's earned titles all through South America, said Michael Cole. Tegan Knox, obviously, built up as a fan favorite here, and she injured her ACL, and that's the going story now this year. So they're looking to tell a story through Tegan Knox's knee, and they're trying to tell a story as she was just devastated last year, and now this year she's looking to rectify everything that she couldn't do last year. This was a very good match, man. I could see why a lot of people are into Tegan Knox. She's beautiful, and she moves around very well in the ring. And this was a very, very good match. Both women's styles clashed very well together. Tegan Knox wins here with the woman with the shiniest wizard. I fucking love that, dude. I absolutely love that name for a finishing move. And Tegan Knox wins here with a shining wizard. Zatara looked very good in defeat. And Tegan Knox looked very good as well. If I'm going to tell you during this entire Mae Young Classic who I would sign from this, I know Tegan Knox is signed with the WWE. I've seen her at the Performance Center. I would absolutely sign Zatara. I think she was great. But the story here is Tegan Knox, the knee, and if she can overcome last year's devastating injury to once again get into the Mae Young Classic and win the entire thing. That's the story here. But it was a very good match. Shining Wizard to Zatara, and Tegan Knox wins the match. Opening match of the Mae Young Classic. Rhea Ripley versus MJ Jenkins. Now, Rhea Ripley, you talk about a massive transformation. Holy shit. Rhea Ripley came out at last year's Mae Young Classic, and she looks beautiful. Don't get me, even now. She came out lanky, thin, tall. She's about 5'10", 5'11", and she was a soccer player. And she's from Australia. Soccer or rugby, whatever you guys play down there, I don't know. Anyway, she just totally went through a transformation. She got bigger, she got more muscle, she put on a little weight, which is not a bad thing at all. She looks fucking fantastic. Actually, the first thing I looked at when I seen Rhea Ripley, Michael Cole was fucking over there. I don't know where he got this from. Apparently, it must have been online. It must have been some storyline on social media. Rhea Ripley comes to the fucking ring, and during the match, I'm trying to watch her wrestle. He's mentioning fucking Charlotte Flair. Rhea Ripley's upset about being compared to Charlotte Flair. I don't want to listen to this garbage. I want to watch the woman wrestle. I'm not even thinking about Charlotte while watching Raya Ripley. You want to know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, holy shit, the Riot Squad is completely fucking miscast. You got a Viking. You got someone who could play the Joker's sidekick in whatever the fuck her name is. I forgot. I can't even think of her fucking name. The one with the blue tongue. There you go. And Ruby Riott. Right? Liv Morgan. There you go. I'm drawing a blank this morning. You got a Viking. You got a Harley Quinn wannabe in Liv Morgan. Then you got Ruby Riott. You know what I'm thinking? Get rid of the other fucking two. You really want a Riot Squad? You got Ruby Riott, who's punk rock to a T, and then you got Raya Ripley, who's fucking devil horns and heavy metal piercings. That's a Riot Squad, right? Why don't you put... You got Raya Ripley here, right? And I'm thinking, how could you reform the Riot Squad to actually make them make sense? That's what I'm thinking. Meanwhile, this goon over here is talking about, well, she's tired of hearing the comparisons to Charlotte Flair. How do you look at fucking Raya Ripley and get Charlotte Flair? What, because, nobody else can be athletic like Charlotte Flair? What, are you out of your fucking mind? Bianca Belair is better than Charlotte Flair. Tessa Blanchard is better than Charlotte Flair. Holy shit. I gotta listen to this garbage while watching this Raya Ripley match. MJ Jenkins, billed from Brooklyn. You know, she reminded me of, remember Goldfinger, Austin Powers, Goldfinger, or Goldmember, whatever, dude. Goldmember, you know, ooh, gold, you know. And Beyonce played his sidekick in that movie. This is what I look at when I look at MJ Jenkins. It's like someone from the 1960s time warp to Austin Powers era. That's what I'm looking at MJ Jenkins. Nothing about her stood out. In fact, I was actually quite annoyed by her. I didn't like the mannerisms. I didn't like her form of charisma. I didn't like the fucking, the silly booty shake that she did. And she really wasn't all that impressive in the ring. She got beat up for most of this match. The real athlete in this match was Raya Ripley. For a woman that's 150 some odd pounds, who can throw a picture-perfect dropkick. Man, WWE, I believe that they signed Raya. If this woman is not in NXT in a prominent role within the next year, even less than a half a year, they are doing something terribly wrong. Raya Ripley is absolutely fucking money. And the transformation that she went from last year looking complete, you don't even realize it's the same fucking woman. This woman is money. Get her on TV immediately. If she doesn't advance as far as I think she will in this tournament, as of right now, she's my odds-on favorite coming out of the first show. Just on who is going to have a successful run in WWE. I don't think she's going to win the thing, but, I mean, if this woman is going to advance, and she gets to a semifinals this year, and she's not on WWE TV with what she's done to herself, you're making a huge error. Huge mistake. MJ Jenkins, another one trained by the Dudley Boys Academy. Nothing special about her. She got beat down most of this match. Jenkins managed to land a hip toss onto Raya Ripley. She was not able to pin Ripley down. Jenkins managed to get a few uppercuts and a shoulder tackle on offense after being beaten down most of the match. But when she finally got a pin, she could only get a 2 count after all her offensive flurry on Raya Ripley. Raya Ripley landed a pump handle power bomb on MJ Jenkins before finally putting MJ Jenkins away. I'm not a big fan of MJ Jenkins right now. A little too green for my liking. Got to work on the gimmick. It's a little too cheesy. It's a little too out there for me. Not a really big fan. Raya Ripley, the right woman, won this match. Lacey Lane. Listen. You guys don't think I see. When I'm not on, I see. I see all. I'm the all-seeing eye over here, okay? People tweeting me, JD, I'd love to see Lacey Lane versus Ember Moon in a match. Why? Why? Because Lacey Lane has incredibly long braids and dreads, and Ember Moon has somewhat of a same kind of hairstyle? What? I don't understand your reasoning for that. You know, I'm not ready to see Lacey Lane versus anybody yet. I don't even know what the fuck she can do in the ring. And people are retweeting me, oh, I'd love to see Lacey Lane versus Ember Moon. Can I watch the fucking woman wrestle first? Before you fantasy book a match based on the women's hair? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I want to see Charlotte Flair versus Tessa Blanchard too, but that doesn't mean I'm ready to see it now. Which makes me wonder, after watching All In, why WWE didn't sign Tessa Blanchard. Why? Because she would step all over Charlotte Flair's toes? That's probably the reason. Yet the reason we're giving is attitude problems. Listen, Telling you right here, right now, and I said it on my All-In review. Tessa is greater than Charlotte. Don't at me. Bianca Belair is better than Charlotte. Don't at me. Anyway, Lacey Lane. She is from Winter Park, Florida. She's a hometown girl, so apparently one of the stories here is A, she's also trained by the Dudleys. B, she's got home field advantage here. So WWE is probably going to prioritize her here. She came out wearing a bandit's mask, and she's got contacts. She's got I love dreads and braids. I thought it looked great, and I thought it looked very exotic looking. I like that exotic look. Piercings, very metal-esque. She comes out, I swear to God, she comes out, and the first thing I thought about was Mortal Kombat. She looked like Scorpion. She looked like she was dressed as Scorpion, a female version of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. And then her opponent, Vanessa the Mountain Craven. Nothing about this woman stood out. The only thing that stood out when I was listening to her backstory was they showed clips, and this wasn't done by accident. You guys got to pay attention to when you watch. Most of the clips that they showed with Vanessa the Mountain Craven and showing off her in-ring skill and doing the promo work before the match actually started, most of the clips that they showed were against Tessa Blanchard. And if you think that was done by accident, you're a fool. That's the first thing I noticed here. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of Tessa Blanchard clips in here. I wonder why. Especially following All In. Come on, bro. Anyway, Lacey comes out as a female version of Scorpion. All I'm waiting for is to do the, get over here, And then Vanessa Craven comes out dressed like fucking Kitana. I don't know whether we're getting for a third match in round 1 of the Mae Young Classic or we're getting ready for fucking Mortal Kombat with Liu Kang as the special guest referee. And Shang Tsung sitting on his fucking throne somewhere waiting to take someone's soul. Like a fucking recreation of a video game in this match. I didn't like Vanessa Craven at all. I didn't like her look. She could stand 6'2" with 200 pounds. I don't give a shit, man. Obviously, the money here in this match was Lacey Lane. This one was sold on Craven being the larger woman, overpowering Lacey. Lacey tried to just gain advantage over the weight. She really couldn't do it. There was a spot here where she tried to do some like Ray Phoenix type shit by bouncing off the ropes and trying to do an arm drag. It was botched because of missed timing, I believe. And then they, Michael Cole and the girls, they sold it as, Vanessa Craven was just too big and too powerful. There's just too much strength there, and Lacey couldn't get the arm drag completed. So Craven was overpowering Lacey, and there was a mistimed cannonball by Craven, and then a crucifix bomb that looked very, very nice by Lacey Lane, and that helped her get the pinfall victory over the much larger Vanessa Craven. So if I'm looking back at the first 3 matches here on this show, let's go back. We got Tegan Knox, who I know is already signed, so good for them. I know she is going to be having that knee issue, and I know because they fucking spoiled it on the iPad. Tegan Knox suffers an injury at the Mae Young Classic. When it happens, I don't know, but I guess we'll see it. But she is signed to the WWE. Zatara, I sign. Rhea Ripley, definitely. I think she's already signed with WWE. MJ Jenkins, I pass on. So we got 3 out of the first 2 matches. Lacey Lane, definitely. I know she's signed, and Michael Cole said that she signed a performance contract with the PC, so that's 4. And then moving on to the last match. We know Killer Kelly is with the WWE for the NXT UK brand, and she is going up against Meiko Satomura. Now, from the video package and the highlights for Meiko, I really wasn't feeling her. I'm like, oh my God, here's another Japanese star that's going to get buried by WWE management. Boy, did that fucking end quick, and boy, did they shut me, or she shut me up. Holy shit, man. Meiko Satomura in the ring. This is the first time I'm watching her wrestle, so this is a new set of eyes on a new talent. Absolutely fucking phenomenal, man. She is the female Shinsuke Nakamura of the Mae Young Classic this year for WWE. Fantastic. Her moveset is absolutely fucking fantastic. She sucks you in, man. You want to see her more. I'm glad she actually won this match. I thought they were going to give it to Killer Kelly and that they were just using Meiko here and her I guess, her legacy and her knowledge and her seniority. I thought they were just going to use that to kind of build up Killer Kelly here. But Killer Kelly is great in her own right, man. She's beautiful, and she's got a great look to her. And I remember seeing her in the UK tournament in that triple threat match with Isla Dawn and Toni Storm. I didn't like her there. I'm like, it was just very, like, whatever. Very run-of-the-mill. In this match, this really was a great showcase to show everybody what Killer Kelly is really made of, man. Now I'm excited to see what she does for the NXT UK division. This was a great fucking match. This may have been the best match of the whole thing, and that's why they put it on last, man. Killer Kelly comes from Lisbon, Portugal. That's her backstory. And her inspirations, bizarrely enough, is Kane. Glenn Jacobs. She's facing off against a legend. They did not shy away from that in Meiko Satomura, who is known, which I love, as the final boss in Japan. Meiko was like him. That's the greatest final boss of all time right there. So she's the Sephiroth of Japan. That's what they're trying to tell you. Meiko was trained by Billy Robinson and is, again, a part of that Japanese strong style. Killer Kelly wasn't really an odds-on favorite going into this match, as the commentary team just bragged about how great Meiko Satomura was. Meiko, which I didn't even know, man. This is new information to me. She was actually on WCW's Monday Nitro during the Monday Night Wars. So I don't know how old she is, man, but my God. She was fantastic. No matter how old she is, man, she moved around like a fucking young lion in that ring. She demonstrated that she was the final boss for real by coming with quick, hard kicks. She did a cartwheel that fucking looked brutal as fuck, man, on top of Killer Kelly. Really, really good stuff. Meiko is known for her takedowns. She was able to land a vertical suplex on Killer Kelly, even though Kelly came close to beating Satomura a few times. She actually beat Killer Kelly, did Meiko, with a Death Valley driver that looked brutal. Absolutely brutal, man. And the crowd was really into this shit. They were really into Meiko. And Killer Kelly has that killer-like attitude. And even she was gracious enough. They both embraced. This was a great fucking match. This was the best match of the entire night for episode 1 of the Mae Young Classic. Meiko Satomura goes on to the second round of the Mae Young Classic, man. Really, really, really good stuff. With a few hiccups along the way, a few things. Obviously, it wouldn't be a WWE production without some criticisms. But I'm excited about the Mae Young Classic. Night 1. This is episode 1, man. Round 1. Very, very good stuff. Raya Ripley, to me. Meiko Satomura, surprise. She was the biggest surprise of this thing because I haven't seen her. And I kind of immediately put her off because of how WWE just usually kills Japanese talent. But Raya Ripley, to me, was the MVP of episode 1. No question. She has got money written all over her. And I'm telling you right now, if you really want to get the Riot Squad on track for the first time, then you put Raya Ripley and put her with Ruby Riott, man. That is a pairing that would make fucking sense. Not Liv Morgan and fucking Sarah Logan here trying to be a fucking Viking. You know? If I want Vikings, I'll go listen to Amon Amarth. I'm not gonna watch fucking Sarah Logan wrestle in the ring when you were pretty much portraying her as a country girl, and now all of a sudden she's a Viking. How the fuck does country living and Viking go hand in hand? Jesus Christ. Raya Ripley, the MVP of episode 1 here for the Mae Young Classic. Very, very good stuff. This tournament is going to be great, and I expect it to be better than last year, and we are off to a great start already with round 1 and night 1 of the Mae Young Classic, man. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed my review and coverage of the Mae Young Classic. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you missed my earlier upload, we covered NXT. Johnny Gargano and the Velveteen Dream classic main event last night on NXT TV. But thank you guys so much, man. Like I said, hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with Off the Script this coming weekend. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you then for episode 230. I think it's 238. Whatever. Off the Script is Friday. I'll see you guys then.